welcome to the Draft Stack. It's Jordan and Kyle. What's going on, Jordan?
Not much. New intro. We're trying. New background. We're trying. I'm excited.
All kinds of things. As you can see, the title is just deep dive because we're going to cover quite a few things on this episode. Jordan, where do you want to start, man? I have some guys I want to break down for sure. We can start with yours.
Why don't we just start with this year's been fun. Let's just get that out of the way. This has been an incredible year so far.
Yeah.
I think my headphones are throwing off the green screen thing. This year has been totally way more exciting, I think, than I expected. The freshman class is just coming out swinging.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the returners are, doing really good. That is one thing that NIL has definitely helped with, is there are definitely better returners now.
Mm-hmm.
Because of
which
that.
I think elevates the competition.
Mm-hmm.
You have guys who, and we've talked about this before on previous pods, the guys that returned had experience in a draft combine, playing against guys who potentially either got drafted, signed contracts, saw what it was that it takes to be an NBA professional, or what scouts are looking for and how to improve their game. So going back to college, they bring some of that to their teams, their respective teams, and that elevates a hungry freshman class. And then you have some sophomores, even some seniors that I'll touch on briefly at some point during this. But they overall, the game is risen. Like, they've all risen to the challenge. There's been some games that are a bit lopsided because of some mid-majors just don't have the overall talent to beat some of the teams that they're playing. But overall, these games have been close games. I looked at the tape for Auburn, Houston, 1-point game difference. And so, you have some talented freshmen on Houston, which I'll cover them in a little bit. And then
did you see the Arkansas fight?
I did not.
Yeah. I can't even remember. They're playing. Can't even remember who they were playing. And Pringle hit like a layup right at the end and started jawing. So the guy just grabbed Pringle and pulled him down to the ground. Which, if I was, if I had someone as unskilled as Pringle, finesse me, I would probably also be a little upset. But you do have to control yourself. So I say that as a Razorbacks fan.
I mean, I think that there's a lot of grittiness this season. Already. Nobody wants to lose. Players don't want to lose in general, but just sometimes the talent isn't there or the ability to scale up isn't there. But it's
been a lot of awesome basketball,
yes,
just really high quality basketball for college.
Agreed. So let's see. Why
don't we start with the senior? Let's start with the senior, and then we'll hit the freshman.
Sounds good to me.
So we'll do Hubbard, then we'll do Anderson, and then we can do Avelis because he's sophomore age, and then we can do that. Sound good?
So Hubbard is likely going to be a bit overlooked by quite a few people, mainly because of his height, his size.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching the tape on him. He is a tough shot maker. He has a lot of range to his game.
Yes.
He's not physically imposing by any means, but the way he drives the ball creates seams for scoring opportunities that are unbelievable. Does not have a high assist rate, but around 5 assists a game. He so far.
Do you want me to do the per 40 stats?
Please, I'd take those.
So for Hubbard, his per 40 stats are 21.1 points, 3.2 rebounds, 6.9 assists, 2 steals. He has not had a block yet. 4.4 turnovers, 44.4% from the field, 36% from the line or from the 3-point line, 90% from the charity stripe. And it's on 10.1 3-pointers attempted per 40. That's a huge number. So it is a true shooting percentage of 61.5 on a 2.5 PER, very good. 33.9 assist percentage is pretty good.
Yeah.
A little high in usage, 30.3 usage is a little high. He is pretty much neutral in box plus minus. It's a 0.1 defensive box plus minus, but 5.4 BPM total. So it's pretty good. The advanced stats all seem to point that he's got something. The height is a worry. The defensive advantage out that he's a struggle on the defense. But as far as 5'11" guys go, he's pretty good. He's not
skilled.
Yeah, to me, he's not like so. I do think when you're that short, I want you to be a pure point guard when you're that short.
I agree. He is a combo guard at best.
But I do think that he's shown enough that he can run an offense. So that makes it to where I'm a little bit more intrigued. So to me, the ones who people who are that size, like JJ Barea led the NCAA in assists and then went undrafted because he was that short. Ryan Nimmer led the NCAA in assists and then went undrafted because he's that short. Right. And so I do worry about someone this height because of the defense ability. That's really what it is.
He does play the passing lanes.
He does play the passing lanes. He does the steals. 2 steals per 40 is not nothing. It's a little low, but it's not nothing.
Right. But to not to down his game, just the size does create some mismatches defensively as a guard.
But offensively, it is pretty easy to see the idea of the high end. You get him as a spark plug guy off the bench who can do some stuff. So I would say that I'd probably be looking at him more in the undrafted free agent range.
Right. Which is not a problem. I mean, I think I am of the opinion that he's on someone's bench as a high level role player, somebody who can come in and just stretch the floor for them and find guys on reads. So
he's one of those guys I would be kind of shocked if he doesn't land a 2.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I would be kind of shocked if he doesn't land a 2.
Which would be shocking to me as well. Love his game from the scoring perspective. I just think that there are some guys whose career game is not 5-tool. You're not getting rebounds, assists, blocks, steals from this particular player. But at the end of the day, with an NBA offense, you have to put the ball in the basket. And that's something he does at a high level and being able to do it at a high level.
He's not a black hole. He's not just only chucking. He does create for others. So it's not that he's not he's not out here being like Ricky Davis or something. So this is the second time in a week that I've thrown a shot at Ricky Davis. So sorry to any Ricky Davis fans out there.
But so he's committed. And
I do think that kind of does play into, though, the weaknesses that hold me back are weaknesses that Christian Anderson Jr., or the next guy we wanted to talk about, that he is answering some of those weaknesses.
I agree.
So, he's 6'2", so he's 3 inches taller. That's a big deal. But the problem with him, for me, is he a point guard? Right. And last year he was not. It was like 2 assists per 40. He was not a point guard. Right. This year he's averaging 20.8 points per 40, 4.5 rebounds, 6.9 assists, 2.9 steals. Still hasn't had a block. Only 2.1 turnovers. 6.9 assists to 2.9 turnovers. Really good. He's, 9.6 assists to 2.9 turnovers. Or
You say 9.6?
9.6 assists.
We had this conversation before the season started about his game while in FIBA and his ability to control pace, to get his team organized. I don't think that 9.6 assists should be overlooked by any means.
No, like if that holds, he's so clearly a first round pick right now.
Oh yeah.
If that holds, he's going to be a lottery pick
For sure. I agree with
you. The shooting is actually lower than it was last year. It's only 42.9 from the field, 38.5 from three, and 87 from the line. He's shooting 6.9 threes for 40, 25 PER, 5.83 true shooting percentage, so really good. 39.4 assist rate on only a 23 usage. Like, that's insane.
Unbelievable.
3.5 DP, defensive box plus minus. Like, 3.5 is legit.
It is.
And his BPM is 11 right now. Like, he's good. Now, admittedly, this is the beginning of the year. He's not playing the toughest schedule. But if these things hold, man, that's a totally different player.
It is. And
he's a completely different player. Like, my comp for him last year was Seth Curry. That's fine. There's a spot. Seth Curry is still was still in the league. He got waived. He's kind of hanging out until Golden State can re-sign him for the room because he wants to play with his brother.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
So Seth Curry's had a 10-year career, and it's mainly been injuries that have been his problem, not necessarily the talent. So that's fine. But this is a completely different player than Seth Curry. This is a real point guard. The point guard class for this year is phenomenal.
A lot of tough decisions to be made. That's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm just looking at like his last stats. In 38 minutes, he had 16 points, 8 assists, and 3 rebounds. The 8 assists, the scoring is likely what people are going to talk about. For me, him being able to show the ability to run an offense and put the ball in spots where guys have optimal scoring position is a huge leap, in my opinion. He was able to scale his game upward. The FIBA games obviously did a number on his ability to showcase talent and to play with an even better pace. So I would be challenged to see him not go in the first round. I can't imagine.
I currently have him 20.
I'm not mad at that. I'm actually not mad at that.
Yeah. So I have him in my so that's a 19 through 36 is one tier for me right now, but he's at the top of that tier. He's 20 right now. And so I just really think that there is some very interesting passing development because he would throw good passes, but now he's consistent throwing good passes, and it's a really interesting development. And so this is an incredible point guard class. And if he's a real point guard on top of that, it just gets even deeper. Yeah,
I agree with that. I was going to go to another point guard, but I think I'd be remiss, and we can take a good amount of time on him. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with going to Caleb Wilson.
Do you want to? I want to do him last, almost. Did
you want to do him? Okay, that's fine with me.
So we could do. So which point guard? You want to do the point forward or the point guard?
I was thinking Kingston Flemings.
Okay, so we'll do that. So Fleming, 6'4" guard from Houston. Per 40 stats are 23.2 points, 4.7 rebounds, 7.1 assists, 1 steal, 0.7 blocks, 2.7 turnovers. This is the crazy part. 69.2% from the field, 40% from 3, 84.6% from the line, 3.43 attempts per game. So it's not a ton of 3 attempts, but still. 29 PER, 0.764 true shooting percentage.
Wow.
0.764 true shooting percentage. That's
Unbelievable.
bananas.
It is insane.
Especially for a 6'4" dude.
Yeah.
Only a 22.2 usage too. For someone
Right.
who's like, he's his defensive box plus minus is
Oh man.
7.3.
Oh, the defensive.
And his total box points plus minus is 16.1. Like, dude is amazing. And he's someone who I, to begin the year, was like, oh, he's probably not a this guy is not a NBA, or he's not a one and done. So I didn't even scout him until he started playing. So now, I mean, we're talking about the game reminds me of Colin Sexton, but he's taller than Colin Sexton.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, but he's got that aggression, like Colin Sexton, and he's also thicker. Like he's a big boy.
Yeah. He's not.
He's not just like 6'4", skinny and fast. He's got some heft to. It's like Dante Exum.
Yeah.
Like where he's, unfortunately, R.I.P. Exum's knees, but he's out for the year now, again. So, so hopefully that doesn't happen for Kingston. But he's big, he's strong, he's smart. Yeah. He loves to play defense. He loves to hound the ball. He loves to hustle, which is also like Exum. He does the hustle plays like Exum.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
There is a lot to love about him, and also Sexton, hustle plays too. There's so much about him that's just like, dude. Highlight he has an effect on Houston as a freshman.
Oh man,
on Houston that is undeniable. That like
6'9" wingspan to the defensive tools that you just spoke
and again about. It's not just length; it's length with strength on top.
Yeah,
he plays. That's the craziest part.
I'm going to take a little bit of a tidbit from another basketball mind and creative. Shout out to Bond. He plays basketball and defensive. And his defensive like posture is chest up, arms out. He's not playing with his hands as much, right? And so when you're in a stance, you can create a lot of mismatch. Like he plays bigger than he is. Let's put it that way. And playing defense that way gives you a good opportunity to counter the offense. So he does an amazing job at like forcing a guy to go where he wants them to. And if he gets beat, he's still in step with the player he's guarding. He just plays like exceptional basketball on both sides of the ball. I mean, the playmaking, he just moves at his own pace. He is exceptionally aggressive and competitive at point of attack defense. Any team is going to add a guy that plays point of attack and does it with sound, disciplined defense. That's just what Sampson wants from his guards. And he has young players. He doesn't expect anything less from them. Doesn't look out of control. I have here in my notes, processes the game quickly on both ends. And his motor is high, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Lauding his defense here. I would love for it to, I would hope that he raises the. I was thinking about it. You said Sexton, but I was thinking more Andrew Nembhard. Is my kind of my light comp for him. So we're gonna see. I believe
the difference between Sexton and Nembhard and him is they are a little bit more willing to shoot threes.
I agree.
So that's going to be the main difference, I think, for right now. Is if he can up that volume. But man, right now, I don't really want to change much about his game. Like he's hitting enough threes right now that you have to guard him.
Yep.
And he's shooting enough that you have to guard him. But I really love that he's forcing the defense to bend to him, not only just accepting what the defense gives him.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure that I even necessarily want him taking more threes right now.
And I mean, he does something that not a lot of guards do currently, but he shoots mid-range shots. He does get some shots from the mid-range.
And again, as many jump shots as he shoots. Let me read it again. Make sure I'm not. 69.2% from the field and a lot of those are jumpers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
And
he's impressive.
his finishing at the rim is what I think
It's phenomenal.
unbelievable. Just he gets there. Like he shows an ability to just get to where he wants to get to. He uses his body well. He switches position foot wise as far as his footwork is concerned. That is moved well. And
so I have him lower because he's going to Houston, and generally people who go to Houston do not do the one and done. So I kind of like that. So I'm like, oh, maybe he's not going to be a one and done. He might just be so good that he does become a one and done. I don't think that he was planning in my mind. I don't think he was planning to be a one and done this year. I think he's playing so good he might become one.
And an agent, right? Like there's two ways this goes. I don't want to project anything on him if it's all, this is a grown man who can make his own decisions, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I just on the trend, two things are likely to happen, maybe three. For one, if he signs an agent, they're going to tell him he's going to make money for what he's able to bring to a team. Doesn't need to start to have an impact on a team, especially because of how he plays defense. And I think come combine time, when he's playing against other guards, the kind of hunger he plays with just is, if he's not on anybody's
people are
board,
going to be ducking workouts against him.
Oh, I believe it. That's what I'm positing here. I absolutely believe that what he does defensively and how gritty he plays, God's gonna be like, yeah, I'm not working out against him. There's no way.
Okay, let's put it this way. Miami Heat.
I'd love him here.
I mean, Spoelstra would be like, yes, please, whatever I do.
Immediately.
Who do I have to kill to get him?
Somebody he would drop off. He would drop somebody off at the airport. Just he's a guard.
Put him in Dallas. Like, oh man, put him in Boston. He'd be awesome in Boston.
I agree.
Like it's really hard to find a team that he would not immediately.
I agree with you. And I mean, if I'm being honest with you, we talked a little bit pre-pod about the Pelicans. Guys, I know this is an NBA. We're not really talking NBA here, but I'm just giving instances on where I think some of these guys could fit. I could see the Pelicans moving off of a few of these guards and grabbing somebody like him that is, to play alongside Fears.
Oh, man. Him beside Fears and Queen. Oh. Like, dude, that would stink to play against. Like, you just be like, oh, come on.
You're gonna get, so I do think that he's a talented player. I'm hoping that he continues to have a healthy, productive season. He, if you're playing for Samson, I am going to assume you're coachable. And
we'll talk about that with the next guy.
Yeah, that you want to bring him in.
Yeah, so we're talking about the other Houston freshman, Chris Sinnett Jr. 6'11", big, forward center, probably more center than forward. 17.2 points per 40, 14.4 rebounds, which is bananas. That's awesome.
Yep.
0.8 assists per 40. That's kind of worrisome. 0.4 steals. It's fine. 1.1 blocks. That should be higher. Whoa, I think I actually put that wrong. I think it's 1.7 blocks. I think I transposed that wrong. Let me check real quick because that seems wrong. 40.
And for those watching, like,
nope.
Well,
1.2 blocks.
Is it 1.2?
1.2. Which seems pretty low, especially for a Samson big. 1.2 blocks. This is the scary number for me. Someone who has such a low usage as him. It's 3.5 turnovers per 36 minutes. Here's another scary number. 5.2 fouls for 40 minutes.
Not going to work. And he has all the talent in the world.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to get to a comp that I'm going to ask you about and see what you think at the end. Shooting 48.7 from the field. He's a big, so that's worrisome. He's a shooter, though, so it's less worrisome. Mm-hmm. It is 36.4% from three. That's fine. Here's another worry: 50% from the line. Only a 16 PER. That's worrisome. So the true shooting is 0.538 for a big. That's not great. No, defensive BPM is 2.6. And offensive BPM is a negative 1.5. So he's an offensive guy who is not, he's an offensive oriented big whose offense is not working with.
Yeah. So here's what I have in my notes, and you can tell me what you think in reference to your comp.
Let me throw out my comp. Well, okay, yeah. You tell me your notes first, and then I'll throw out the comp because you are intimately familiar with my comp.
So ceiling for me, funny enough, and what I have down here is he is the biggest wild card. Top 5 potential and talent.
The flashes are real.
Versatile in skill set. Does have the ability to play two-way with significant upside. However, can be considered his floor is also a question mark because of a lack of consistency and polish. Those are currently my notes for him. I
also think processing is a little bit of an issue.
I agree.
Okay, so we talked about Fleming, how Fleming is so did you see the clip where Fleming and him they were in drop and Sinak switched instead of dropping. And it looked like Fleming was ready to kill. So that is something all of the other guys on the Houston team are the treatment, and Sampson's over there whacking his head. So that is when there's not just that he made a mistake, but when it seemed like it was so clearly when every single person on the floor and all the coaches were that upset over the mistake, they had to have been like, hey, dude, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. And he switched instead of dropping. So I don't know what is happening with that. I don't know if that's him being uncoachable or if that was just literally a mistake and everybody overreacted. Because that can happen where everybody overreacts to a mistake because it was kind of a closer game, So maybe it was that. But I don't know. The reaction of the teammates made me wonder what he's like in practices and in huddles and stuff like that.
And I mean, at the end of the day, most Sampson teams are defensive minded first. That is their makeup. That is their base. That is the baseline for anybody he adds, he recruits. There has to be some defensive. Obviously, the offense is important, but the defensive acumen, the ability to make reads on defense, to be in the right position, to know what and how to do what it is you're supposed to be doing at any particular moment on defense is something that Sampson is huge about. And in fact,
having watched him, because I did watch a game, I can't even remember who they were playing. Was it Auburn?
It might have been. Yeah, it's Auburn.
Might have been Auburn. To me, what I think I noted, I think he is just not processing wise there yet.
No.
So I'm leaning towards, I think Sinak will not be a one.
No, I don't think so either.
And so I think next year he's going to be awesome. I think he just needs one more year of development, personally, which brings me to my comp that this happened to. You're intimately familiar with. He's Khalil Ware. Every single flash, amazing. But the lowlights are dude, what are you doing? But the flashes are there, so he needed one more year. And then he was great in that next year. So I think that's what we're going to get with him. I think he just needs one more year.
And first I'll pause. I absolutely agree with your assessment and analysis for him. I am
Now, this is also the beginning of the year. He could figure it out as the year
completely turn
goes
it
on.
around. I am one of those people who feel that development is not okay. So I'll say this, and then we can move to the next guy. Development from college to your first year in the NBA is a transition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So pace of the game in college is different. Time clock is different.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive 3 seconds, like there's all these little things and nuances that are tiny, but they are intangible to figuring out how to play in the NBA. There's an adjustment period. So I would say that there are two forms of development that take place. There's a guy who plays in college. He can play 1 year and hop straight into the NBA and decide he'll develop from there. Or he will play 1 or 2 years to polish his game off and then join the NBA and say, you know what, I've added these skill sets. I've some of kind of what these returners did. Okay, I see what
Mm-hmm.
my weaknesses are. Maybe he does what a lot of returners did. They declare keeping their eligibility and they go through the combine as part of just getting like an understanding of what it is scouts are looking for, how they want, how he's supposed to be playing as a big. What's the talent difference between him and the next guy who's just as talented? If he does something like that, I'm actually not mad at that and him returning to school.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for a lot of people within draft cycle, they would love to push a guy out of college and into the NBA to see how he develops. I do think that approach is a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's the kind of player, especially with some of the guys that we have coming after him that we're going to talk about.
And I'll be honest, I don't know that Sampson is an easy coach to be coached by.
Fair.
I think he's a great coach. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I think he's a great coach. But his standards are so high
Absolutely.
that these guys who are flashes guys, I'm not sure that that's a great fit. However, if he can figure it out, those flashes become reality.
I agree.
If the flashes become reality with him, he's an incredible prospect. So I do think that Sampson's going to be very hard on him, but I think it might be for his betterment in the long term.
And really, if you take a look at it, NBA coaches are not going to not coach you hard, right?
Yes.
Like on one hand, actually, and you know what? I said I wasn't going to say this, but I am going to say it. What I said pre-pod. I'm going to go ahead and say it, and I might get slaughtered on Twitter for this. I don't think Kelvin Sampson cares about his players going to the NBA. And here, let me frame that as he cares about his players being good players as a whole, being good players within his system as a whole. On top of that, he expects the guys that he plays to have good character. So above all things, character is what's most important to him as far as system and all that stuff. Yes, that's a part of it. But I think he's more into coaching the person to being a good player, an all-around good player, and then fitting the system he wants and playing winning basketball. So I said all of that to say Chris could not have a better coach to prep him for being a professional. However, if he can't be coached by Sampson, there are going to be question marks about his ability to be coached. I will say that. So the talent is there, the flashes are there. I am hoping that over the stretch of the season and over the games that are played, he continues to scale up his ability to use his physical tools. And then when I go to my notes later on in the year, it's not biggest wild card. It's biggest prospect likely to be drafted in the top 15 just because of his skill set, where he goes up the board so much further.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say, we're grading on a curve here because, like,
oh yeah,
if we're talking about any regular freshman big, then he's doing good. But he was supposed to be in the top 5 conversation.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the guy, one of the guys who was in that group that was supposed to challenge
Mm-hmm.
the big three.
Agreed.
He's clearly not. He's not the best freshman on his team. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not writing him off forever. I just think that he might be a 2-year guy instead of
And
a
that's
3-year.
okay.
I
And
don't
that's
think that changes NBA outlook either. And that's where I think some people, to me, I think that it would actually be better for his NBA outlook if he does another year of college.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So to move from him
to Avellis, right?
yes.
I have no clue if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not. So I speak 3 dialects of English. That's not one of them. So Nicholas Avellis, he is a 6'7" point forward for Virginia Tech. Per 40 stats, 22.2 points, 4.8 rebounds, 8.2 assists, 0.7 steals, 1.7 blocks. That's pretty impressive for someone of his size and roll on offense. Now, the shooting from the floor, not great. It's 43.6%. Now, a lot of it's because he takes a lot of threes, and he does hit his threes. It's 7 attempts per game, but it's 38.1%. It's pretty good. The line is a little worrisome. It's 64.3%.
Which is shocking to me.
Because his form looks better than that. His form does straight up does look better than that. 21.3 PER, 0.527 true shooting percentage, 33.5 assist percentage, really good assist percentage, 4.4 block percentage, 25.4 usage. So he's doing pretty good on not like hogging the usage. 1.9 defensive box plus minus and 6.5 box plus minus. What I would say is that his stats are really dragged up by that one performance where he had the 37 and 7.
Yeah, man.
Because the rest of his games, he's not been near as good. He's also not. It's not that he's not been near as good. He hasn't shot the ball as much. He hasn't had that kind of usage. So he played. Everyone was like, "Oh my word, it's Luka again."
Oh boy.
And then they've not put him in the Luka role for any of the other games.
No.
So I think it's interesting that he can be somewhat effective in an off-ball role. I think that's interesting for future development. Luka used to do that at Real. Luka still does that when he's at playing for Slovenia.
Right.
He probably needs to do that a little bit more with the Lakers. But I think LeBron has let it be Luka's team, so maybe he doesn't need to. If LeBron is going to keep shooting that well from the corners, then maybe it will be okay. And also LeBron is seeming to enjoy not having to score as much, so maybe it will be okay that Luka's not playing off ball as much. So we'll see.
So here's the thing with Nicholas. So I have here I have for physical tools, I talk about the fact that he's a fluid athlete, just plays well. I do think strength already starting on this. I'm in prime form already. Does need to add some strength. I do think he could go up from.
That's the big separator to me with the people who were doing the Luka comps. Like he moves like Luka. I understand that. But Luka, even at this age, was a different level of physical force in the strength department.
Agreed. So with that in mind, I would say adding 5 pounds. He's 197, I believe, are the stats on him.
Yeah, Luka was not 197.
From 197 to maybe 205, 204.
Yeah.
Would be good for his overall physicality, being able to play more of a driving game. And then
I just want to be clear, my comp is not. I just want to be clear. I've used that because that was the thing going around.
Yes, yeah. I'm glad you made that clear because we don't do that here. Is a 3-level scorer. I do think that, as I mentioned last, strength, weight does rely on finesse quite a bit. Does have a good efficiency. I could see him playing some point guard, point forward, kind of, depending on where he ends up and how his season goes. I am gingerly mentioning this name, but I do think that his playmaking and his size reminds me, if I had to give a comp, guys, please don't kill me. Giddy. I would say Giddy at the height, the size, the ability to pass the ball, the ability to just get out.
I actually lean more on the scoring than the playmaking a little bit with his comp. I've been using Bogdanovich.
Okay. I'm not mad at that one.
I just think that he's a little bit more of a scorer than than the passer. So I don't think he's like a Luka Giddy kind of passer. But I also think he's a better shooter than Giddy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So there's that.
So I believe where now here's where I'm picking on him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He is got the size to be versatile.
Mm-hmm.
But his defensive questions give me pause. That's where I am a little bit like, Now, is he coachable? Yes. Can he be a little hard on himself from what I've seen? Yes, absolutely. That's just international players in general, if we're being honest. Mm-hmm. So I'll posit this and you can tell me what you think. He is his ceiling is starting two-way wing. Somewhere where he slots in and he's able to be a connective passer or somebody who can score the ball and then feature the ability to pass the ball. And then his to me, he is late first round and above. I can't imagine that he would be anything lower.
Yeah, I don't see him falling out of the first round. Not with some of the flashes that he's had.
Right.
So this is a really good first round, though. Who knows?
Yeah.
We say that, but man, dude, this year is so good.
Yeah.
I feel like we can say that about like 37 people. That there's no way they fall out.
And that just says that there's talent, coming into the league. As I do think that the league is going to lose quite a few players who are not young anymore, and are likely going to move to.
Paul's leaving.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that'll make.
Do you know that if Blake Griffin came out of retirement, he would drop the average age of the Clippers down?
That's absolutely.
Steve Nash pointed that out on Amazon Prime.
Unbelievable.
It's insane.
Oh
my word. So
we're kind of wrapping up here, and we're gonna actually spend quite a bit of time on this last prospect, and we're moving from one wing to another, in my opinion. And Caleb Wilson.
Yeah, I'm going to put his Cerebro stats. So you talk for a little bit. I'm going to compare the Cerebro stats to what we actually have. So for a little bit.
Let me just give you guys the rundown. And if you haven't watched Caleb Wilson play yet, physical tools, 6'10", long arms. He's fluid mobility. He's got quick feet. He is 215 pounds. He can score the ball at all levels, finish above the rim. He's got mid-post and turnaround jumpers to his bag. Does have shooting efficiency with inside the arc. Shows a lot of touch. Doesn't have a large three-point volume, but the way he plays basketball, you absolutely don't necessarily need that from him. On defense, he's switchable. He moves his feet to guard perimeter players. And I just think that his discipline is the only thing that I would put a wrinkle at, but he's unbelievable. Off ball, he's an excellent off ball presence, does rotate, and I think he's going to continue to get better. Rebounding is at 10 rebounds per game.
You should see his per 40.
Oh my goodness. He is perfect for the modern NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He is not he's not a back to the basket kind of guy, which I don't think is even really used as much these days. And just he's driven. If I had to harp on anything, and if it's okay to give you my ceiling and strength, ceiling and floor for him, and then you can just give I run your breakdown. I'm excited to hear. The ceiling is high upside two-way star, like elite defensive potential and versatile on offense.
He's getting some names thrown out that are bananas.
The motor is unbelievable. I do think that if the jump shot becomes more consistent over time from mid-range out, he's a steal in this draft. And he absolutely looks at the top 5 and says, if I'm not up there, I'm coming for them. He absolutely is hungry. He plays with a chip on his shoulder that I have not seen in a while. And I'm sure this gets thrown around a lot, but he's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dog.
So, we're talking about someone who, so this is why I have him so low. I didn't even think he was going to be a 1 because his cerebro stats do not look good. Now, you see the flashes in the games, and you're like, oh, so he's a flash guy. It's going to be a long time. His cerebro stats say that he shot from the field, 42%. And so I was like, I'm not interested in this guy. Like the defense is otherworldly, but he's going to be complete zero on offense. So I've talked to some people who were at his high school, and his high school has him down that he shot 48% from the field. That's a completely different play.
It is a different play.
And that's what's happening right now, is he's shooting like a player who shot those percentages more than someone who shot 42%. And so the athleticism there, I've seen him described as a dunk merchant. That does not seem totally off. The dude is dunking everything in a good way. So his per 40 stats, 31 points, 15 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 3 steals, 2.7 blocks. He is shooting 67.3% from the field, 40% from the line, but it's only 1.5 attempts per 40, so he never shoots. 69.2% from the line, so it's not horrible from the line, especially for a big man who doesn't shoot. You accept that.
Right.
That's good. Yeah. 38.5 PER, really good. 7.700 true shooting percentage. His free throw rate is 0.701.
Which is shocking, actually.
His defensive box plus minus is 7.9. He's nuts, dude. And then his box plus minus is 19.1 right now. UNC's not played the toughest schedule or anything, but he is everywhere. And also, him and Vassar is a really good combination right now.
They are.
It's very reminiscent of Wilson doesn't shoot like Chet, but it's very similar to Chet and Hartenstein, the way that they have they have that little chemistry with where Hartenstein will lob to Chet a lot. It's very similar to that. I'm really, really liking the fact that he is so focused on getting easy shots, because he's not going to be, in my opinion, he's not going to be someone who can live off of the difficult shots. Now, he's hit some difficult shots this year. Some of the fadeaway stuff is where he's getting the insane comps. I'm just going to say it. We don't agree with it. It's too much pressure, but he's getting KG comps.
I need people to relax.
It's too much pressure. We do not put that kind of pressure on players. That being said, my comp for him right now is Evan Mobley, which is not that much better.
Which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at that comp at all.
That's the other thing too, is I feel like he has thicken out so much that he's a real big. My worry watching him in high school is I felt like he was more of a wing than a big. And so he was a wing who couldn't shoot and had bad percentages from the field. So percentages from the field seem to have not been true. So that's something. Also, the percentage from he's not a wing. He's filled out. He's definitely able to play big. So that's more interesting. And he still can't shoot. But that's fine because he's a big now instead of being
right. And he'll likely play.
Well, he can shoot. He just doesn't shoot.
And he'll likely play power forward center. Like he's swappable. He's able to be, efficient at both positions. And likely because of.
So can we talk about the defense? Because my word.
He's a monster.
So he just, in drop, he's like incredible in drop. And then switching, he's phenomenal switching. And then he's really good at icing pick and rolls. He's really good at closing out without fouling. He's really good at like he's so good on defense.
And you know what?
So fun.
People have thrown this comp around. I like this comp a little bit better. He has some Bam-like tendencies. He has some Bam-like tendencies. Being able to close out at his size without fouling and to just switch is a lot of what Bam makes money off of, is being able to guard 1 through 5 to stop your best player. There are occasionally where some guy has to be crafty, but if it took craftiness to get past Bam, that clearly means he was locking you up. Caleb plays with similar energy on the floor. And so,
the energy and to be that aggressive without getting into foul trouble.
Yeah, man.
Because he's controlled aggression. It is so awesome. Right now he's number 4. If anyone is going to break into the top 5 or the top 3, I think he's clearly the guy.
He's after. I believe he's playing to be after all 3 of those guys. Like,
because I think there's Ament has been okay. Has been. I think the problem with the Mint we talked about was like people just had too high of expectations for him. With Mikal Brown has been good. Koa Pete has been good. But the one to me who Tonde has been, he's been okay. But the one to me who has exceeded expectation and really wants to be in that top 3 conversation is Caleb Williams. And Wilson. Dude he's fun, man. He's so fun.
And I want folks to mark their calendars. I won't do this isn't advertising. I'm just saying that these games, let's see. So apparently, let's see. I believe. Oh, we don't have to wait too long, folks. North Carolina plays Duke tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Oh, is it tomorrow? Oh man, that's
tomorrow.
Gonna be exciting. I'm gonna have to.
There is Wait, hold on. I have this wrong. I am incorrect. I jumped the gun. Please, y'all don't hurt me. They don't play till February.
I was about to say, I was like, tomorrow? What? So
No, they don't play till February, and so it'll be February 7th and March 7th. And really the matchup we're looking at is Boozer versus Wilson. Oh my God.
Phenomenal.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Because Boozer has kind of struggled against length, and Wilson has length for days.
And he's going to try to make his life hell. So thanks out, for the guys, for the folks watching who spent the last hour with us. We just love talking hoops. Love, contributing to the draft stack and being able to give you guys some breakdowns and deep dive on a plethora of players. And as the season progresses, we want to continue to put out really good content for you. And we'll be podding a little bit next week as well, ahead of Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of those who do celebrate. Enjoy time with your families and
We
take
don't
care of
celebrate
yourself.
here, but I'm taking off work anyway. So
Take care of
I live in
yourself.
Africa for people who don't know.
So, Jordan, it's always a pleasure. Looking forward to more pods, man. Y'all take it easy. Peace.
See ya.